It feels better. It feels better. It feels like there's more freedom on the other side rather than just feeling like, oh no, I better not say anything. But being able to say, oh, actually, I think this. And what about that? You know, and just being able to throw ideas out there without feeling fear and scared and nervous and uncomfortable or triggered. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Maya and I not only help you heal from past traumatic experiences, but also to manifest your dream reality and live the reality that you so deeply deserve and can. So today I want to talk about why am I so shy? And I want to talk about it from a trauma-informed perspective as usual. So let's have a look at it. So maybe you are shy and you're wondering like, okay, I am shy. There's probably nothing I can do about it. This is just who I am. I have always struggled with social anxiety. I don't like speaking up. Maybe I'm even an introvert. Now I do this because sometimes when we have trauma experiences, overwhelming experiences, something that we cannot cope with in our childhood, they impact us, and that causes a traumatic experience inside of us. And that could actually cause us to go into an introvert direction, even though maybe that is not who we truly authentically are. And that's why I did this with introvert, because I, for the longest time, believed, oh yes, I am an INTJ, very introvert. I don't like speaking up. But here I am on YouTube, so that seems to have changed a little bit. I do still like, you know, alone time and just having peace and quiet, but I think there's a balance. And I think for everybody, we all have a balance of, yes, I like expressing myself, but I also like having alone time and just peacefulness and breathing. So I am not too sure I buy into the extrovert-introvert scene anymore, but that's besides the point. Let's talk about shyness. So shyness could happen when we have some traumatic experiences in childhood, like for example, we answer a question in class, it happens to be wrong, and the class decides to laugh. And suddenly the whole class is laughing at us. And that is a pretty traumatic experience. Maybe not for everybody, but I think for most people, for most kids, that would be pretty awful to have their friends, classmates just laughing at what they've just said, and you kind of just sink back down into your chair in class and try to disappear. And for most kids, they probably wouldn't want to speak up again in the same class, or for that matter in other classes, because that is a pretty terrible experience. Nobody likes being laughed at. Maybe laughed with is okay, but so in that situation, that is a traumatic moment that just gets stuck inside that child because they can't fight the experience, they can't flight the experience, so fight and flight is out. So what's left over? It's a freeze response. And when you freeze, that energy gets stuck in you, and then it creates a block. And so we've learned from that experience that when we speak up, we go out on a limb, we take a risk, we get laughed at, we get made fun of. And so we've now learned, oh, let's not do that. Let's not speak up. Let's not communicate whatever we want to share and express, because we might get laughed at, and that creates a feeling of discomfort, trauma. It's awful. We don't want to experience that again. It hurts. It's like, oh no, that's definitely not something we want to re-experience. And so we learn that, okay, we're not going to put ourselves out there anymore, and we're going to become shy or socially anxious and just not speak up anymore, because it is safer to not speak up. It is safer to just be quiet, because if we don't say anything, people can't really laugh at us for expressing ourselves, because we're not. So there we go. We have created a a coping mechanism around a big trauma block energy that is stuck inside of us now. And that is a shyness from a trauma perspective. Shyness can develop from many different experiences. It doesn't just have to be, kids laughing at you when you speak up in class. It could also be from criticism. If you had a lot of criticism or maybe some really intense, severe criticism, you wouldn't want to really say anymore and communicate because it's just going to be criticized. So, that's another way you can create that coping mechanism of shyness. And bullying at school could also be another reason why shyness would develop as a coping mechanism to protect you in the future. So imagine you were bullied at school. Would you want to speak up and put yourself out there at work later on in life? Probably not, because you have the subconscious belief that, oh no, if I put myself out there, I could be singled out and bullied. So that's really scary. So the nervous system steps in there and says, no, we're going to be shy and we're not going to put ourselves out there. And we prefer to be more in the background, more quiet, where it is way safer, according to the nervous system and what we've learned, from past experiences. So that's where shyness could come from. And it's normal, right? If you think about it, many people are socially anxious these days and shy. And you can see how many people classify themselves as introvert. There are so many situations where you just don't feel safe to express yourself. And so you would choose to say, well, I'm an introvert, so that's just how I am. So you don't have to question it at all, right? So there could be that aspect. So it's good to just maybe look into it a little bit. Just ask yourself, oh, okay, well, is there maybe fear behind me not saying anything here? Do I have an opinion I want to share and I choose not to? Do I make an excuse why I don't want to share my opinion if I have one that I would like to actually share and express and feel is important and might contribute to the conversation that's happening around me? So why would I not be saying it then? Maybe there's some fear there. So this is where we can just be aware of feeling nervous, and then you can recognize, do I even feel scared? And maybe you feel triggered. Maybe you notice like, oh, I'm sweating. And that's where social anxiety comes in. And you can just notice that, oh, I feel really uncomfortable. I'm not at peace here. And essentially, we want to work towards feeling completely comfortable no matter what. And I know that sounds extreme, but it is possible. So if we keep on removing these energy blocks, these trauma imprints that got stuck in our body from traumatic experiences in the past, if we keep on removing them and cleaning our system, our energetic space, our subconscious, then we don't have to maneuver around these blocks anymore because we've cleared them out of our system. So we can just feel comfortable and go for whatever we want. And we wouldn't feel any we wouldn't feel any fear, discomfort, or tension. But that's not really the case, right? We have a lot of hesitations around certain things. And when it comes to shyness, this is one of the most common trauma side effects or symptoms that we can see, and people have just normalized it. But I do believe that we don't need to hide behind, oh, this is just how I am. We don't need to make peace with that, but rather, or succumb to that, but rather we do get to express ourselves. We do get to be more of an authentic, genuine version of ourselves. And the way to get there would be to heal those traumatic experiences that we had in the past. So here's a couple tips how we can start doing that. Step one is always awareness. So here we go. The video hopefully helps you step into a little bit of awareness there just to get going. And then after awareness, journaling is one of my favorite things to do, because when we have a thought in our mind can really confuse us. It can really twist things from one thing to another thing. Just, it does 180s all the time. So I would definitely always choose journaling over just trying to mull things over in my mind. Because in my mind, it just goes crazy. It ends up being chaos, and that's terrible. So I don't recommend that at all, at least not in my experience. And so when journaling, I would ask myself, okay, what has triggered me here? Why do I suddenly feel anxious or maybe even panic? In my past, I've had panic attacks, and they're definitely not fun. Now, they weren't in social situations, but they are linked. All of these triggers, if you do enough shadow work, you'll see how everything is interconnected. So when you journal about moments where you feel triggered, anxious, shy, where you can't freely express yourself, even though you kind of wanted to share, but you just didn't quite feel like you could share it freely, then you could write that down and just become really clear on what happened there. What triggered me? Why didn't I want to say that? And you'll be surprised. As soon as you start writing, there will be some insights that come up that you would not have thought possible. And memories will come up. Don't be surprised if you think about something that happened 20, 30 years ago, and suddenly it's as clear as if it was, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. It happens. And then you'll feel it all over again. You'll feel sensations in your body. And this is where I would go into somatic work. And as soon as I feel those sensations in my body, maybe a tense shoulder, which I've been working on and doing practices for, or a knot in your stomach, that one is so common. And you just maybe feel sick to your stomach. It depends how much social anxiety, how much shyness, to what degree, how intense was that trauma in childhood, right? And I keep on saying trauma in childhood, but it could also be intergenerational trauma. There's so many different types of trauma, but the easiest one to talk about is obviously childhood trauma, because that's something we can all relate to anyway. We all have childhood trauma in one way or another. And so once I feel those somatic, those body sensations, then I will tap into that, give that my awareness, and do the somatic process to actually release that stuck energy. Because when I feel tension in my shoulder, it means, oh, there's something there that needs to come up and be experienced, be allowed, be welcomed, be seen, heard, and so that it can be released, integrated, and really just acknowledged rather than suppressed or ignored. If we suppress or ignore or reject, it's going to stay stuck in our body, and it's going to keep on sabotaging us, and keep on blocking us, keeping us just in fear. And that's not really a way to live. It's not a way to live your life fully, right? So journaling, and then from journaling, maybe going into somatic practice, that would be my preferred way to do it. Another really good option is some mindfulness techniques like meditation, grounding. I absolutely love grounding. And whenever I go into a somatic practice, I always ground myself, I always connect. It provides extra support and safety, which is so important, because when we go into these experiences, they can be so intense. Because when we were tiny and we had this traumatic experience, it's traumatic for a reason. It's terrifying, it's scary. So we definitely want to go into those experiences grounded and supported, feeling like, okay, it's okay. It's okay, I'm right here with you, everything's okay. With that loving space, that loving container. It's so important. I just can't emphasize that enough. And besides somatic therapy, there are also 2 other therapies that are pretty good. CBT, which I haven't used that much, and EMDR, which could also be really interesting. But my favorite, as usual, is somatic therapy. So I talk about that a lot and I focus on it because that's been the key for me. If it's worked for me, that's what I'm going to talk about. That's my experience. But I did also want to mention the other two in case that is something you want to explore. Okay, so I hope this has been interesting for you and that you notice that you don't have to just be shy for the rest of your life or be an introvert or just label yourself. You don't need to. You get to choose your reality. You do. And I know maybe you're in a place where you think, no, this is just who I am. But I'd just like to open the door, maybe the window of possibility that if you don't really want to stay in fear, hidden, and if you'd prefer to step into living your life a little bit more fully, you get to express yourself and be yourself more genuinely, authentically. This is a good way to start. Just, you don't have to do it overnight. I don't think that's even possible. But you just do one step by one step by one step. That's how it works. And that's what I've done. That's what I've done. And it feels better. It feels like there's more freedom on the other side rather than just feeling like, oh no, I better not say anything. But being able to say, oh, actually, I think this. And what about that? And just being able to throw ideas out there without feeling fear and scared and nervous and uncomfortable or triggered. None of that is fun. So yeah, I hope this has brought a little bit of inspiration, a little option, a little possibility for you to move through shyness as well, and has given you a couple of options how to do that with journaling, somatic therapy, EMDR, CBT therapy, and grounding techniques. Definitely grounding. All right, have a wonderful, amazing day, and I shall speak to you soon. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Bye.